The woman you see on screen here is named Romana Didulo. She's a QAnon cult leader. She's a public influencer that created her own bizarre little group with their own weird little beliefs. And she is wreaking havoc right now. She calls herself the Queen of Canada and claims that the royal families are imposters and all kinds of crazy stuff, dude. Well, she moved into a school recently, just an abandoned school, took it over, and started sending threatening letters to the mayor of the town about executing him. Oh my God, it's crazy. I want to give you a little bit of background on who this person is and what she's all about and her beliefs and some of the crazy stuff she said, but just listen to this short news report about her moving into this school. Check this out, and I'll give you more information on her beliefs.
Tonight, a community is on edge after a far-right conspiracy theorist and her followers move in and
By the way, this released October 7th, 2023. This news report did.
Make threats. We begin tonight near the Alberta border, northwest of Maple Creek, where an extremist cult leader and her followers have set up camp in a small Saskatchewan village. The group has called for public execution of elected officials and other people in the area.
Holy this is crazy. I don't actually believe they're going to do anything. I believe it's all threats. But you know what? Nobody thought Jim Jones was going to do anything either. Nobody thought that David Koresh was going to do anything either. And here we sit on the other side of those events.
Laura Sharpaletti has this story.
What used to be a school is now home to a cult. Self-proclaimed Queen of Canada, Romana Didulo, is known as a far-right QAnon conspiracy theorist. Didulo and some of her followers call themselves the Kingdom of Canada. The group arrived in Richmond on September 15th. They've been staying at the former school, invited by the property owner.
So they apparently have friends in high places, people who own a property as large as a former school. Wow, what is that worth? That's got to be worth millions and millions of dollars, right? And he's just let this cult move in. This is now a cult compound. That's concerning. That is real scary.
By the property owner. Locals say they're nervous about the cult's extreme belief and behavior and the potential impact on children there. On September 24th, the village held a protest outside the school, calling for the cult to leave. Then this week, Didulo's followers emailed a threatening letter to village administration, saying if it didn't follow the decrees of the Queen, they would face judgment. And if found guilty of crimes against humanity or treason, you will face publicly broadcast executions upon yourselves and undeserved devastation upon your children, grandchildren, and families.
Undeserved devastation upon your children, grandchildren, and families. What does that mean? Does that mean that she doesn't believe that their kids or grandkids should suffer for their crimes, but they're going to make them suffer anyways through like publicly broadcast executions? This is psychotic, dude. This is heating up hard. Quick interjection. I won't take long. I just wanted to tell you guys, YouTube's algorithm operates off of a few factors. Watch time, whether or not you subscribe, and whether or not you like something. So if you really want to help my channel, I would appreciate it if you guys watch the video to the end. If you don't watch it to the end, just watch a little bit longer than you would have otherwise. I would appreciate that very much. All right, let's get back to the video.
The mayor says residents are on edge.
People are just staying in their houses more, and their heads are on 360.
Yeah, I can't blame them. A cult moves into your little town, right? Imagine that. I live in New York City. We got like 50 cults here. A lot of cults got their start in New York City, matter of fact. But this is seriously, really, really concerning stuff. These people don't have the resources to deal with something like this. I don't know how big this town is. What's a population? Wow, 154 people in Richmond. Only 154. That's nuts. That means that she probably just outnumbered the people in this town. Her followers, I would bet anything, the ones that are with her right now, probably total more than 154. She just outnumbered them, which means she can swing every single election now. That is as disturbing as it gets.
360. They're swiveling, whatever. And that's what it should be. but it shouldn't be for the kids, shouldn't be for families. It's just something that our small community in Richmond, our great community, should not have this.
An expert who studied Didulo and her followers says the threats should be taken seriously. So does the mayor.
We should not ignore it. We don't know what their intentions are. We don't know how seriously any one of her followers take it.
I know how seriously they take it. They would literally die for her. And I'll give you evidence. Again, I'll explain the whole thing. I'll show you other examples of them attempting to arrest people, do citizens arrests on police and all kinds of crazy stuff, man. This cult is off the rails already. It's not good.
And we do know that she is true believers.
Oh, absolutely.
What does happen if something does happen to a kid, and then everybody says, oh, maybe we should have did something, and that's too late then.
Premier Scott Moe says the Ministry of Justice is discussing the situation.
I most certainly will provide, I think, the community some advice and some options on how they can, ultimately protect the serenity of their community, and the government would support that.
We're monitoring very closely the commentaries, the activities of the group, to gauge, whether or not there's aspects of criminality with respect to their activities.
RCMP say they are increasing their presence in the village. They also say they're investigating the threats of public execution. Laura Sharpaletti, CBC News, Regina.
This is actually pretty common for cults. I know that people who don't follow cults may not even be aware that this is a standard operating procedure. A lot of the time, cults will build a compound either outside of city limits or within a very, very tiny town that they can easily outnumber. Look at Greg Locke, for example. He built his cult compound outside city limits. So now, if somebody has a problem with him, he is outside city ordinances. He's outside Mount Juliet, Tennessee. He's outside of their sound ordinances or their anything. If a police officer needs to come and respond to some problem that's happening at Greg Locke's church, it has to be either a sheriff or, a county police officer, Wilson County, or a state police officer. It can't just be any cop. There are a lot of restrictions based on jurisdiction, and that's why cults tend to build their compounds outside city limits like that. So let me tell you a little bit about who this person is, okay? Romana Didulo is her name. She was the creator of the Canada First Party. I think it's a political party in Canada, and it's basically like the America First Party in the U.S. It's a far-right extremist party. She's a QAnon believer. She fell down the QAnon rabbit hole about as far as you can go, and now claims to be an Arcturian. It's a made-up race that doesn't exist. It's supposedly an alien, lizard people that run the world. She claims that those lizard people are called Arcturians and that she is one of those lizard people, but she's one of the good lizard people. She's working for you. And this was the video that really kicked it all off right here. She had a Telegram channel that had a modest following, because some of the shit she says is absolutely unglued from reality, so she couldn't just say it anywhere. And it had a modest following from her time running a small political party, Canada First, I believe. Now, if there's something that I have personal experience with, it's being a public figure. Let me tell you a little bit about what that's like. I don't consider myself like a gigantic public figure. I'm just some dude that is modestly well known in some niche circles, right? I'm literally no more special than anybody else. I'm exactly like everybody else. But if I look at my comment section or my emails or my voicemails or my anything, I get a completely different story. If I'm prone to having a massive ego, if I'm prone to buying into the nonsense that I sell, the type of comments that public influencers get are wild. I mean, constant praise, people telling you you're the best, you're fantastic, you're the smartest, the strongest, the fastest, the whatever. And people who have what I consider to be weak minds fall for that. You know, they fall into it. They buy their own bluster about how special they are, instead of keeping it in perspective and realizing that they're no different than anybody else. They're exactly like everybody else. They just so happen to be in the right place at the right time to build a platform and saw the opportunity and seized it in that moment. That's it. Are public influencers really worth more to society than plumbers or carpenters or college professors or anybody else? Not really. Public influencers are just part of the machine. They're another cog in the machine, chugging along, working just like everybody else, trying to inform or trying to whatever. But Romana Didulo here believed her own nonsense, believed the things that people were saying about her. You know, maybe she helped a lot of people in some way gain confidence or whatever. I don't know. But she heard an endless stream of people saying how fantastic and smart and great she was, and she bought it. And it ended with this right here. Well, it began with this, I suppose. After hearing all of those comments nonstop, she comes out with this. This is from 2021.
Hello, Canada. I'm Romana Didulo. I'm the founder and leader of Canada First. As of February this year, 2021, I am the head of state and commander-in-chief of Canada, the Republic. In case you're wondering who appointed me as the head of state and commander-in-chief of
Great question. Who appointed you? Yes, that is what I was wondering.
the Republic of Canada, the people who appointed me are the White Hats and the U.S. military.
White hats is a QAnon phrase. Like I said, she's a QAnoner. Her entire belief system is built upon QAnon. Now, QAnon has different denominations that are largely built around the personalities that publicize it. So Michael Brian Protzman started the Negative 48 QAnon denomination that believed that JFK Jr. is going to come back and run with Donald Trump for president and all kinds of other crazy stuff. And we've got Romana Didulo here, or Didulo, as she says. I guess, you know, she's the expert on her own name, so I suppose that's probably how it's pronounced. We got Romana Didulo here, who believes that she's a good lizard person working for you, and that she's the Queen of Canada, the legitimate queen. And the real queen, you know, Queen Elizabeth, at the time when this came out, is an imposter. Absolutely insane, man. So, yeah, she says that she was appointed Queen of Canada by the same white hat military, quote unquote, that appointed Donald Trump president. Great. You got any evidence of that? I'll take literally anything.
Together with the global allied troops and their governments.
Global allied troops. More QAnon buzzwords and loaded language.
The same group of people who have helped President Trump. The same group of people who have seized the assets of the Vatican Church.
Wait, has the Vatican had their assets seized? I don't remember this.
The same group of people who have seized the assets of the fake royal family of the UK, installed by the central bankers 200 plus years ago.
If you're on the outs and not familiar with the history, the royal family of England has followed a specific line all the way back. But I think 200 years ago, it split off, and the new king or queen or whoever it was, I don't remember, came from a cousin family, the Windsor family. So I guess she's claiming that the original family, like the royal family, you know, King James and all of those others, back then they were legitimate, but when the Windsors took over a couple hundred years ago, they were illegitimate? Is that what she's saying? Every word out of her mouth has very specific meaning to QAnoners. She mentioned white hats a minute ago, and I know some people may be unfamiliar with the term. Let me just explain, 15-second explanation. White hat and black hat are usually terms used in software engineering or in hacking circles. White hat hackers are people who are hired by a company to try to hack their network, try to hack into anything in any way they possibly can, penetration testing and everything else, and give the company a report on what they found so that those holes can be filled and prevent black hat hackers, people who are trying to do this for nefarious reasons, from getting in. QAnon took the term white hat and applied it to the military. So they're good members of the military. They're the good guys that are working with Donald Trump to take down the deep state and all kinds of crazy stuff.
The same group of people who have seized the assets of the 13 family bloodlines. The same group of people who have seized the assets of most, if not all, royal families of Europe. And I would like to send a very special thanks and greetings to our digital soldiers.
Another QAnon dog whistle. They call themselves digital soldiers. And they believe themselves to be like real soldiers in a real war. They're just fighting on a cyber battlefield or whatever. It's crazy. This is QAnon through and through.
On Telegram. Now I would like to address the vaccinations and injections.
Please.
Happening across the Republic. As far back as late February, early March of this year, right immediately I took my oath as the head of state and commander-in-chief.
And who did you take that oath in front of? Who did you give the oath to? Were you in your bedroom alone or what? Let me guess. You're going to tell me that there was a group of white hat military members who showed up at your house and appointed you secretly. No recordings, no evidence of any sort. They just showed up, right? By the way, she is not just delusional. She's also lying. Flat out, bold-faced lying. She claims to be indigenous to Canada, which is the entire basis to her belief system. If she wasn't indigenous to Canada, then she couldn't be an Arcturian, because indigenous people are, linked to aliens in some special way. I don't remember what it is. She's not indigenous to Canada. She's from the Philippines, I believe, last I checked. I'll double check that and make sure, and I'll put a little word at the bottom and say yes or no. She's from the Philippines. That's why her skin is a little bit darker. That's why she looks a little bit more Asian than a lot of the people you find in Canada, which are like descendants of people from England. When after fighting the Revolutionary War with the U.S., they fled up into Canada and kind of made homes there and stuff. She's not indigenous to Canada. She's lying, flat out lying to people's faces, to her followers' faces about this. Remember that as we go through this. Not just delusional, lying. So she's telling us about the quote-unquote forced vaccinations that never happened. No one was ever forced to take a vaccine, but okay.
As the head of state and commander-in-chief, I declared Canada a vaccine-free nation.
God, why are her pauses so long in between her words? I may cut some of those slow parts out. It's kind of frustrating.
Which means all of the vaccines and injections happening across the Republic is unlawful, criminal, and is crime against humanity. Know this. Inside the Republic, the penalty for crimes against humanity, treason, economic sabotage, and bioterrorism.
Treason, economic sabotage, and bioterrorism. Okay. What's the penalty for these things? I.e., giving somebody a vaccine. You're a doctor that administers a vaccine. You're on that list. Because you knew, secretly, the vaccine was blah, 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 whatever they believe about it.
Is death.
It's death.
You will be tried for crimes against humanity under Nuremberg Code. And if that is not enough, as the head of state and commander-in-chief of the Republic of Canada, I will convene a military tribunal and charge you with crime against humanity, treason, bioterrorism, and economic sabotage. All
What the hell is she talking about? Economic sabotage. What does this mean? For what it's worth, later on, I don't think this had happened yet, but after declaring her Kingdom of Canada or whatever, she created a list of decrees, and in those decrees included a couple of specific lines. Her followers don't have to pay for their utilities. They don't owe anything in utilities. No water, no power, no nothing. And they don't have to pay taxes at all as members of the Kingdom of Canada. She's got like 80,000 followers on Telegram, for what it's worth. But that's not nothing. You know, I was at about 100,000 subbies, and I announced in Lincoln, Nebraska, that I was holding a meetup, and I think I got 40 people, 30 or 40 people to show just like that at 100,000. Now, imagine somebody like her who has a group of people who are so deep in this extremist conspiracy rabbit hole that they are searching her up on Telegram and stuff, that they already believe in this QAnon stuff. People who are that fervent, who believe it that deeply, will crawl over broken glass to be part of this movement. So I'm just a normal dude who doesn't have a cult following. Just, group of people wanted to meet me. Simple as that. She does have a cult following, an extremist following behind her. We don't know how big her cult is, aside from the fact that her Telegram account has about 80,000 subbies. But I suspect she has about 150, maybe 200 people that follow her around everywhere. I guess they don't have to follow her around everywhere anymore since she set up shop in a cult compound at the school.
and economic sabotage, all of which carry, as I've already mentioned, death penalty. So I urge you to consider very, very carefully your options. Because should time come when the head of state and commander-in-chief of the Republic of Canada, and that is I, must sign your execution papers for these crimes against the Republic, I will do so.
The most disturbing part about this whole thing is that she has actually instructed her followers to perform a citizen's arrest, quote unquote, on people, on a police station. She said, this police station is protecting people who are vaccinating others, and I want you guys, my followers, to show up to this police station and arrest every one of them. So they did. They showed up. This entire group of her followers showed up at this police station and attempted to arrest the police there. And when the police wouldn't come out, because there's a gigantic crowd who's very likely going to get violent, they started calling 911 over and over and over again.
It's just going to be peaceful, okay?
By the way, this is August 13th, 2022 when this happened.
Truly believe in my heart all of you are here because you're tired of living this way, okay? So we are the people who are going to make a difference today. We're going to request the military come and remove the criminals that have helped orchestrate this crime against the people.
Which is COVID vaccines. And she claims she's in contact with the military. And she said she needs these people to come here and perform a citizen's arrest on the cops here. And then she's calling the military in to show up and take them away to their gulags or whatever. That's what she said. And she even showed up here, seriously. I'll show you in a second. Keep watching.
Okay. So again, if I could ask everybody just to be peaceful, I'll do the talking, and we'll wait for the military. Okay?
And then we'll wait for the military.
So if you all want to come in, we'll see how it goes here.
Wow, dude. How many people is this? This is just from one town she's passing through. This isn't like a normal posse that follows her around everywhere. So they attempted to walk into the police station and it was locked. They had locked all the doors. And these guys are like happy about it because they're like, oh, we scared him. Yeah, you're fucking psychotic. Of course you scared the shit out of people. Are you really proud of that? Yeah, Canadian with the 1776 shirt, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but there's a dude that's wearing a 1776 shirt. Why? I think the British, fled to Canada after losing the Revolutionary War. Why is a Canadian wearing this? I don't get it, dude. And they call themselves We the People. It's another part of the loaded language. QAnon started in the United States, and it doesn't make any sense outside of the U.S. But here we sit watching Canadians and, Australians and British and a plethora of other people from other areas using language that only makes sense in America. Look at this, dude. Look. You see this, what is this? Like a flag, I guess. God loves you, and then it's got some other language. I don't know. Did she invent her own language as an Arcturian? I don't know. This woman is draped in a flag of the Kingdom of Canada, quote unquote. Official color is royal purple. This is nuts, dude.
So as you can see, the crowd has landed at the Peterborough Police Station. Frank is inside the vestibule. He's planning to arrest police and wait for the military. There's a few dozen folks around.
A few dozen? I would peg it closer to 100 maybe. Even 150. I don't know. I didn't get a good look at the whole crowd. And I'm not good at crowd estimation either, but I'm comfortable saying maybe 100.
And we'll see what happens next.
So you know why they're not here? I think this is a pretty good indication of their position.
What, that they don't want to get, shot by some psycho? Yeah. I think I'd lock myself inside, too.
Yeah, it is, Frank. We could all start to call 911.
Yeah, I'll
Great idea. Flood emergency lines with false reports. Fantastic. So anyways, this whole situation ended very badly for these people, not for the cops. Eventually, the police came out and arrested these people violently. It got violent because these people were acting like nutcases. Yeah, I've got the whole timeline. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but it'll be worth it. It's really, really fascinating, this whole story. Now, remember, this is the group of people that set up shop in a village of 154 people in an abandoned school. What do you think they're going to do to the members of that community? Listen to this. This is just a few minutes later. They finally communicate with somebody inside the police office there.
Wait, you think COVID's real? Deal? Yeah? Well, my boss got $1 million to start making COVID hand sanitizer bottles. Before it hit. Yeah.
He thinks that COVID was fabricated so people could sell hand sanitizer bottles. Is this real? Does he really believe this? Or is he just in a fantasy land or what? What is happening?
Yeah, and he knew he was getting it long before COVID. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he wears red high-heel shoes down the main street with the elite.
Red high-heeled shoes in QAnoners' minds is a signal that you are a pedophile, basically. I don't know how any nicer way to say it. They believe that it's a signal to others. It's been illegal to be gay throughout history and throughout different cultures and eras and all of that. So gay people wouldn't be out of the closet at all, but they'd come up with a little code so that they could identify each other. They'd wear a little flower in their shirt pocket or something. Or here's a good one. They would get an ear piercing in their left ear only. That was a little signal that people sent to let others know, I'm gay too. That's how they found partners and stuff like that before it was legalized. And this is one of those things. QAnon believes that if people wear red high-heeled shoes, it's a symbol that they're a pedophile that's out on the prowl or some other nonsense. They live in a delusional fantasy. It is insane.
You know what red high-heel shoes mean?
Tell me, Frank.
Pedophilia. Yeah, and I caught him. And then I came after your Chief Gilbert. You know, the one you haven't seen in about 8 months? That one? I know you guys talk that you see him all the time. Most of the
What the hell is he going on about right now? Chief Gilbert?
officers I've asked, except for a couple. A couple are honest people. They told me they haven't seen him in a long time. Is that true? When did you see him last? You guys need to think about what you're doing.
I tried to research this, figure out who Gilbert was and what was going on. I couldn't find anything about it, honestly. Maybe it's just from too small of a town. Apparently, Frank here accosted Chief Gilbert and ended up in jail or something. It's just the context clues that I picked up along the way.
We're not here to hurt you. Come and do your due diligence.
The truth is coming.
The military will be here to pick you up the moment
The military will be here to pick you up.
we detain you.
The moment we detain you, we have to detain you first. They won't show up until then. Oh my God, dude.
So you need to take some time, think about it. It's like anybody else, you know. Just come to your senses and realize it's not the way to go.
We're only here because we got dead and injured people. We don't see you standing up. Do your job.
Yeah, they felt that one.
We're not leaving this car.
Absolutely.
Dude, this is psychotic. This is insane.
Okay, left the car running, guys, and ran into the shop.
They left the car running and ran inside, apparently. Naturally, I would do the same thing. Holy shit.
Look, you guys think you're on the right side of the fence by
It's got a 3/4 of a tank, so it's going to take a while to run out. They won't be coming out.
The way he handled the assault rifle that he was.
Jesus, dude. Oh, my God. So anyways, Romana Didulo shows up at this little event and meets Frank, the de facto leader of the group.
Oh, it's so nice to see you guys here.
By the way, she travels around Canada in an RV that she basically scrounged up money from her followers' donations and purchased this RV. She calls it QR1. Mobile QR1. Really. Queen Romana 1.
Here. Oh, the old intuition was going crazy this morning, boy. Yeah? We literally just finished talking about it. Joanne texted me. I'm like, she's coming here right now, isn't she? And then I read the text. I'm like, I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, I literally just thought of it. There it is.
My God, dude. These people need help, for real. This footage that I'm about to show you is a little bit rough. It's just like what happened after the police finally came out and confronted the crowd, so.
You're Masons! You're all Masons! You're all gonna hang for your crime!
Oh, I guess I cut it off right before things got really ugly. Yeah, they were throwing people around and everything. It was rough. But you know what? You show up to a police station, tell them that, you barricade them inside and tell them that the moment that they come out, you're going to arrest them for crimes against humanity. Dude, what? I don't know. Like, what else do the police do to defend themselves from this crazy situation that's happening? Before this event, mid-April 2022, just like 4 months before this took place, she claimed to have been appointed a mediator between the United States and Russia over the Ukraine situation. This is right after the Ukraine war broke out. She claimed to be the mediator.
To we the people of the Kingdom of Canada.
Catch that, we the people? Why are you saying that? That's an American thing. That's from the Declaration of Independence, I think. What does that have to do with you in Canada?
I address you today as your Commander-in-Chief and Queen. To the Russian and American people, I address you as the mediator between the United States and Russia pertaining to Ukraine crises. I have been requested by the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Armed Forces.
And who's that? Who requested that? Do you have evidence? Can you give me like a little video footage of him asking for that? Hell, show me his email address. Something, anything.
To act as the mediator between Russia and the United States. I must inform we the people of the Kingdom of Canada that as part of my negotiation with the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Armed Forces, I have requested that Queen Romana of the Kingdom of Canada be provided an aircraft bearing the flag of the Kingdom of Canada and with the call sign Queen Romana, for short QR1, as we travel to Moscow or St. Petersburg, Russia.
They're gonna hold this in Russia, huh? So I've got to wondering, like, what do her followers think when none of this happens? I have no clue how they rationalize this. I guess they just say, well, that's the deep state getting one over on us, you know? It's nuts, dude. It's absolutely nuts. Couple of other things I wanted to show you about this person here. This is her business card. The Kingdom of Canada, Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didulo, Commander-in-Chief. Commander-in-Chief. Snazzy fucking haircut, right? Look at this haircut. I gotta give it to her. She is absolutely psychotic and runs a cult, but boy, does she know how to put a haircut together. Here's more evidence that I know she's lying. She posted this to her Telegram as evidence of some other, I don't even know. After COVID hit, shortly after, I think it was 2022. Yeah, August 2022. After COVID hit, there was another possible pandemic scare, monkeypox. And there was a claim going around, a false claim, that you could only catch it if you did something gay with somebody, basically. That's not how it's spread. That's completely made up. But anyways, she posts this to her Telegram, this image here. Surprise monkeypox outbreak at FBI Washington, D.C. headquarters. False. There was no outbreak of monkeypox at that headquarters. And what's more, it's not spread the way that she claims it is. More than 90% of federal agents based in the D.C. headquarters of the FBI have been suddenly stricken with an outbreak of monkeypox. It's not yet clear how such a large number of agents contracted this mysterious virus, but sources say that orgies in the men who have sex with men community are being closely looked into. Senator Chuck Schumer released a statement this evening. There are so many facts that have to be examined. It's very troubling. It's completely made up. She made this up. This is a lie. All of it. That's how I know she's lying. If no other thing convinced me, this would do it. Here's another fun little screenshot I took forever ago. To the attention of the Kingdom of Canada Forces, Special Forces, U.S. Special Forces, and Allied Special Forces, please protect we the people of the Kingdom of Canada. Engage. Peace and prosperity, and so it is. Peace and prosperity or perish. I don't play politics. So this is her calling for violence, effectively. Peace and prosperity or perish. Do what I say, or I'm going to do something about it, basically. Psychotic. Hang on, there's another video I wanted to watch. Oh my God, this is painful. Okay. She shows up at some, like, scene where she heard that Fox News was filming. She shows up there and tries to get an interview so that she can talk to the people of her country, the Kingdom of Canada. And it's just so cringe. Watch. By the way, this happened February 2022.
Oh yeah, got it.
She asked them to turn the camera so that everybody can see that this building had purple lights on in her honor. No joke. They pass a building, a few of the lights are purple, and she claims that they were honoring her as she passed. Just how do people get to the point? Not like the members, but the leader. How does a leader of a cult get here? Does she really believe that she's an Arcturian? A lizard person? This is insane. Like I said, public influencer status, all the barrage of love and of hate simultaneously will do things to your mind if you don't keep yourself in check. Even smaller influencers, 50,000 people, 10,000 people, 5,000, you're still getting a barrage of people. I found that at about 50,000 subscribers, it was impossible to keep up with comments anymore. I used to read every comment until 50,000. It was impossible at that point.
Very quiet.
So she's trying to approach Fox News camera crew now.
This is where they were, right here. There they are. Queen, Your Majesty, Your Majesty.
Oh, it's painful, dude. Somebody is calling her Queen and Your Majesty in public. I am having the hardest case of secondhand embarrassment I've ever experienced in my life, maybe.
See to the left.
Right here. Right here.
And they're carrying her flag.
Right here.
Right here.
Right here.
There's this lady.
Right here. Right here.
There you
Are you
go.
guys Fox News? Yes? I'm Queen Romana of Canada. How are you?
I'm Queen Romana of Canada. She introduced herself as Queen Romana of Canada.
Nice to meet you. Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
How do I address you? Your Majesty. Oh my God, dude. This is bad, right? Is it just me? This is bad.
I'm well. How are you?
God, you ever have cringe so bad that you literally want to vomit because it's so intense? Like, oh, don't do that. Please, please don't do that. Oh my God.
How are you?
I do apologize.
That's all right. It's all right. No need.
I didn't know who you were. I apologize, he says.
Are you willing to do an interview
I can't.
with the Queen of Canada?
We're done for the day, but we have another crew that's replacing us right here, and they might use that stuff. How's that?
Definitely yes.
And they're Fox News. They're just my replacement. We're just wiped. We're tired. We haven't eaten.
So we can't do it right now, basically. If you want to get our contact info from this guy over here, I think is what's being said. For what it's worth, political leaders are never supposed to ask questions. As somebody in charge, it shouldn't be framed as a question. Do you think it'd be okay? Can you turn the light on for me? No, that's not how political leaders are supposed to frame things. They're supposed to say, I'd appreciate it if you turned the light on. It's a statement. You can be kind, you can be, gracious and nice in the statement, but it should never be framed as a question because you're not requesting something of somebody because you are in a higher station. Anyway, it's just political. That's just how political leaders talk to subordinates and stuff. I'm just pointing out she's not really a queen. She has no clue what goes into being a queen. She doesn't know anything about the personality behind being a queen or anything at all. She knows nothing. She just pretends. She cosplays as a queen and has people address her as Your Majesty. That's her pronoun, Your Majesty. Oh, my God.
And they're Fox News. They're just my replacement. We're just wiped. We're tired. We haven't eaten. And we're cold. And we're going to get back to the hotel.
All right. Provide me their contact information.
There you go. Provide me your contact information. She's not asking. She's framing it as a statement.
And his reporter and producer are around somewhere, so they'll be here shortly.
Hi there, sorry to interrupt. Michael, I'm Queen Romana of Canada. How are you?
Please.
Nice to meet you.
How did you know my name?
So she says, I'm Queen Romana of Canada. How are you? And he says, how do you know my name?
Of course.
Because the guy behind her just told her the dude's name.
But of course. I have my details.
I have my details, she says, acting all cryptic, like she looked all these people up before she showed up. This is just painful, dude.
Yes? So, Michael, I came here specifically looking for you and your team.
Why?
Because I would like...
Anyway, this dude is just a cameraman, and he basically says, I can't help you, I'm a cameraman. What do you want from me? There's a producer somewhere, find him. I don't know what his name is. I don't know what he looks like. I don't even know if he's still here, but there's a producer, and he's the guy you want to talk to, is basically what the camera guy said. Anyway, oh, it's so cringy and painful, man. So, as I said at the beginning, bring this full circle, she's set up shop in a school in a town of 154 people, and I don't know what happens next. I'll tell you this much. I've seen this story before. A cult sets up a compound, locks themselves in, and doesn't allow anybody else on the outside world to come in, nobody on the inside world to go out. It usually doesn't end well when that type of thing starts. So, hope for the best. These people are as extreme as it gets and are willing to go to any lengths to accomplish what they want to accomplish. Literally any length. Like she said, public executions are not off the table. In fact, they're very much on the table. For what it's worth, though, One more thing I want to mention about this. She has a website, actually, and on her website can be found on her business card here, queenromanadidulo.ca. I've done so much research on this. I know how to spell her name. It's a complex name. She has royal decrees, okay? She's listed all of her royal decrees on her website. Let me just give you a couple of them, okay? These are the decrees that apply to her subjects in her kingdom, which is also apparently a republic in addition to being a kingdom. Sex education and school curriculum. This is decree number 2. Her Majesty, I am Queen Romana, head of state and commander-in-chief, head of government, Queen of the Kingdom of Canada, comma. I'm not giving her that title. That's ridiculous. Just give me something short and easy to say. Romana says, effective today, students taking sex ed classes must meet the minimum age requirement of 24 years of age or older. The penalty for violating this royal decree is a minimum of 30 years imprisonment without bail or parole. That's for the first offense. And lifetime imprisonment for the second offense. Peace and prosperity or perish. For the record, this is full of spelling errors and grammatical problems. I'm filling it in to make it possible to, wade through, basically. Okay, here you go. Here's another one. To the attention of we the people of the Kingdom of Canada, the National Treasury of the Kingdom of Canada, the Treasury Department / Ministry of Finance, Department of National Defense, blah, blah, blah. This royal decree eliminates any all of the following taxes obligations by living Canadians, blood flowing in the body, or non-living child, woman or man, species. I'm just reading it as it's written. Landed immigrants status and permanent resident status holder in the Kingdom of Canada. 100% Canadian-owned small businesses / sole proprietorships. Effective today, all listed taxes obligations below must be reset to zero balance. There shall be no further collection of taxes in the Kingdom of Canada other than the flat rate 10% good and services tax applied only to non-exempt goods and services as specified in this royal decree. So basically, all of her followers stopped paying their taxes and they stopped paying their utilities because she said something similar about the water bill and the electricity bill. And what happened? Their water and electricity was shut off. Their homes were foreclosed upon. Their jobs that they had their wages garnished, all kinds of stuff. Here was the first royal decree. Number 1, effective today, race theory in Canada is unlawful. This must have been declared when critical race theory was like the focus of the culture war. All private and public daycare centers, preschoolers, facilities, K-12, trade schools, colleges, universities, and military schools and military barracks and libraries. All textbooks, digital and hard copies or other teaching methodologies with reference to race theory are to be removed and destroyed effective immediately. Promotion, dissemination, and selling of race theory materials in any form in Canada and to Canadians is unlawful. Book banning, basically, is what this is. The penalty for violating this royal decree includes revocation of business licenses, immediate closure of said business facilities, and a minimum of 30 years imprisonment without bail or parole. I don't play politics. Her Royal Majesty, Queen Romana Didulo. My God, dude. Psychotic, okay? This is nuts. And I am really worried for the people of Richmond, Saskatchewan, Canada. I've seen this one too many times to not be worried about their well-being. Get out, guys, please. Members of Richmond, get out. Okay? That's my recommendation to you. Get out. Unless she is in a jail cell. You can't live there without feeling a sense of danger for the rest of your life. And even when she's in a jail cell, she's got followers everywhere that are complete nutcases. Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. This is fascinating and disturbing all at the same time. And cringy. You can't forget cringy. Ugh. Why does she have QR on her seal? Queen Romana. Should be RR if she is queen. Regina Romana. Queen Elizabeth had ER on her seal. Really? Okay, I'm not sure how it works exactly, but yeah. QR stands for Queen Romana. QR1. It's just painful, dude. There's no logic in this anywhere. Like I said, she has no clue what's happening. She's just making it up as she goes. Nobody ever explained what the deep state is. Yeah, the deep state is just, a conspiracy theorist's term for this evil cabal that's running things behind the scenes, controlling everything, one world government, leaders or whatever. It's all nonsense.